to Beardsley. You know, he got sacked because, you know, the way he treated his players apparently, and he's come out and he's said it before, he's come out now and said it again. You know, nowadays you can't shout and criticise your players. You know, it's not the done thing. Well, you know, I don't want to be an old fart, because if I go back to the days, you know, older blokes will turn around and say, yeah, it's bloody right, you could, you know, you should be able to criticise and shout at your players, etc. And you look at the George Grahams of the world, the Fergusons, the Bill Shankleys, and Pep Guardiola, you see him do it on the blasted pitch. They all do it, but there's a way, Peter Beardsley, I must say, in my really sort of minor roles as manager when I was doing it, there were times that, you know, I had to go at players, but, you know, there's a balance. There's a balance in how many times you do it. There's a balance in if you embarrass them in front of everybody. There's a balance of going over to them and talking to them about it, you know, later on, and saying, look, come on, guys, it's not personal. You know, this is, I just felt I lost my cool. There's a way of doing things, Peter Beardsley. Maybe you didn't have that right balance. And you can't keep upsetting players, otherwise they will walk on you. You know, I was sort of out of it. I remember once we had a derby, my young lads, I saw one of my young lads come on with the local town, and he walked through the gates before the game with two other players from the other side. And I saw that, and I did it on purpose. I shouted at him from the other, you know, from the changing rooms. I was standing outside. But over here, I said, what are you doing talking to them, laughing and joking? Because they were having a laugh and a joke. I said, what are you doing? I said, you get in here. I said, I want you kicking crap out of him. What you mean turning up at the game, you know, with the opposition players? Get in the changing rooms. I've got to now think whether I'll play you or not. And what that did, the opposition players thought, oh my Gordon Bennett, he's getting his players all wound up against us. You know, maybe shake them up. And it got my players thinking, God, blimey, yeah, this is a derby game. We've got to beat the local town. It got them all wound up before. And then I went in the changing rooms, had a word to the players in a calmer way, and said, listen, guys, we got to win this game. This is it. Not having a go at, you know, the boy, not having a go at you, because I think he was about 18 at the time, not having a go at you, but, you know, we got to get in there and we got to get them from the beginning. So let's go for it. We went out there, we did, and we won, which we expected to anyway. So there is a way of doing things. And Peter Beardsley, I don't know what's right and what's wrong anymore. I think, you know, Pep has got it. He knows what he's doing. It's all mind games with Pep, isn't it? He'll have a go at them, put his arm around them and that. Times have changed. You've got to be cleverer. And there's ways of criticising players. You know, as Tuchel have just done with Rashford the other day and Foden. There's ways of doing it.